You know, it's even worse than being broke and not working. Working 60 plus hours just to be broke. To spend all that time just to end up being just as broke as me and I ain't doing anything. Spending all that time working just to fall behind me. Because I'm still trying to learn Spanish and Russian. You know, to spend all that time feeling super superior about yourself, but I'm eating better than you guys are when I choose to eat. You know, they do say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Like how a lot of you just go to your job and do the same shit day after day, week after week, month after month, hoping for a fucking raise. Good luck. Hoping for a promotion. Good luck. You know, chances are you're gonna get fired for some dumb bullshit. It's always over some dumb bullshit, isn't it? Chances are you're gonna get laid off before you even get a chance to collect that retirement. Because you start to realize something when you stop working, is that your time is more important than those dollar fucking bills. And you know, you could be using your time for anything better than generating someone else's wealth. A lot of people, they depend on their paychecks. They feel like they should be dependent on money, so much so that people will give up friends so that they can chase this illusion of money. People give up on the idea of family so they can chase this illusion of money. People even give up the idea of freedom so that they can chase this illusion that is money. I think it's sad how so many people have chosen to place money over their very own humanity. They feel as if money is more important than their physical or mental health. They feel as if making money is more important than living life itself. How many people gave up on their dreams just so you could get money? How many politicians and Christians do we see giving up their morality so that they can have this illusion of more money, more power? You know, a lot of people seem to believe that the more money you have, the more control you have, but really the more money you have, the more your money ends up controlling you. I think it's sad that, you know, so many people, they become stuck in one place. They become set in their own ways because of this illusion that is money. How many people work the same job for 20 plus years? They live in the same house for 20 plus years. They live in the same city for years and years, never leaving that city, never really exploring beyond the bounds of the borders of your city. Those kind of people live all over Montana. There's people who grow up in these small Montana towns and they never really leave the small Montana town. They never really get to see what's outside of that small town. They never get to meet people outside of that small community. You know, there's some experience in life that money just cannot buy. You know, a lot of Americans don't even realize how money is an addiction. They rationalize it as money is a tool, like a drug addict rationalizes getting high makes them more creative. And we see how broke people act just to get a little bit of fucking money. Some people put their bodies on the line just for the illusion of a little bit more money, a little bit more comfort, a little bit more security. No different than the homeless girl who settles for the abusive homeless man. America settles for these abusive employment practices where you're essentially required to work 16 hours a day, 2 different jobs. Because you know one job ain't gonna let you work that 16 hours, and they sure as fuck aren't trying to pay you OT. So that's more time out of your day, you know, getting from one job to another to make enough money to pay the bills. We see people sell out their own fucking friends, family, community just to make a little bit more. We don't see how things like Starbucks is just another extension of that addiction. You know, back in the day, we always heard about how the dealer would come to the block and, you know, because the whole line of people would start gathering around them, forming. And it's the same at the homeless shelter. You know who's carrying the dope, because the second they show up, everybody surrounds that car. And just like Starbucks selling caffeine and sugary drinks. We got these ridiculous drug addicts who are lined up at Starbucks before it's even open so that they can get a hold of a cup. Is that not the textbook definition of a drug addict? The fact that so many of you can't even hold on to your money. As soon as something on the hype train catches your attention, you're like, well, I better get a ticket to the hype train. Just like with these Arby's steak bites, it's all hype. Do you know how many influencers I've seen on sponsored posts and they're like, oh wow, these are the new steak bites, pretending like this shit is any fucking good? I'm just saying, you might as well spend a couple extra bucks and go get yourself a real steak. Get yourself some real food. Kind of like how we see this hype train with the Mountain Dew Baja Blast pie from Taco Bell. It's all hype. And the same thing, we see all these influencers and they pay money to advertise a company's product instead of the other way around. And they give their over-the-top reaction and they always say the same thing. Oh wow, that's really tasty. Oh wow, those artificial sweeteners, those artificial fats, those artificial dyes. Wow, Taco Bell. You really did something with that. You know, and it's sad to me that that's how easy it is to distract an American from, you know, more pressing issues. Yeah, you don't need shelter. Have you tried this new Taco Bell Mountain Dew Baja Blast pie? Yeah, you don't need affordable health care. Have you tried these Arby's steak bites? Yeah, you don't need to worry about what's going in your food or water. How about everyone just line up out front of the Starbucks before it even opens to get a hold of this limited edition item? Meanwhile, there's other places and maybe they might not have as much money, but they're eating intensely better quality of food, you know, freshly slaughtered, fucking not all these hormones and GMOs in their fucking food. It's growing naturally. You know, if they get seafood, it's fresh from the ocean, fresh from the water. And Americans love to sit here all high and mighty like we got the best goddamn country in the whole world. Like our meat, our chicken, our beef, our pork isn't pumped full of fucking hormones. Like kids aren't hitting puberty earlier straight up because of that fact. We got GMO fucking vegetables. We spray our fucking produce with pesticides. You know, people gotta be homeless on the streets, sleeping in the freezing fucking cold because, you know, homes aren't places that you can buy anymore. It's just an investment for a bank so that they could sell it to another bank to flip it and justify the criminally high prices for homes. The way that America has seemingly privatized every single industry. And we like to pretend like the reason why everything is so expensive is one reason or another. It's no, you know, it's industries that are being privatized and they get to set whatever dollar amount that they want for the prices that you pay. They get to work together with the government to create these catastrophes and then they'll jack their prices up even higher